So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys. Most amazing viewers. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm so thrilled that you found me. I hope that this reading resonates for you guys. For those of you guys who are returning again, I am so blessed. I'm so grateful, and I can't wait to get into your reading. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Today's reading will be looking at you versus the person you came here about, person on your mind, and what is going on currently between you and this person energetically. Now, if the person on your mind doesn't pull through, sometimes spirit comes through with the strongest energy that you're needing to hear. So this could be a current situation, circumstance, another person, your higher self, whatever the messaging is. If it resonates and applies to your current state of affairs, then that message was meant to find you today, okay? But you're not forced to sit there. If you don't like that message, if it doesn't make you feel the way you want to feel, then go somewhere else, okay? Because this reading is intended to be you versus the person on your mind, but whatever it is that comes through is not up to me. And I just channel and read exactly the energy as I see it, okay? And I'm not everybody's reader, because I'm not here to sort of do anything other than just read the cards and the energy. So you're bringing the energy. If you don't like the energy, then change your energy so I don't have to read it back to you, okay? Beautiful angel. So we have 4 piles to choose. Oh my gosh, I just said 4. We have 3 piles to choose from today. 1, 2, 3, not 4. And these are the decks I'll be using for today's readings. So I'll put the timestamp right here for those of you guys who are interested in taking a look at these decks for future readings. And you can energetically charge these cards, or if you're just interested in going through the cards for yourself, then take a look at that. And I will remove these cards so that you guys can sit with the energy of the piles that are here, so that you guys can take your time selecting whichever one feels right for you. Option number 1, Murder of Crows. Option number 2, the Crow Tarot. And for option number 3, the Anime Tarot. All right. Let the energy sit. I'll let the video sit, and you guys sit with the energy. Take as long as you need. If you do feel stuck, close your eyes, and when you're ready, open your eyes. The first pull will most likely be your pile, okay? Now, if you don't resonate with one side sort of being your energy, then this might not be your reading, because one side should resonate with how you're feeling currently, or at least what you're thinking or going through energetically, all right? I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, pile number 1. You guys picked the Murder of Crows Tarot. So it's my favorite deck for the longest time. Love, love, love this deck. So we're looking at you versus the person on your mind. And like I said in the intro, sometimes other people pull through / other energy that doesn't necessarily belong to a person that could be around you. That has significance and Spirit's bringing it to your attention, okay? So if it's not what you want to hear or prepared to hear or doesn't resonate, then go to another pile, go to another reading, okay? Clear and concise message for beautiful pile 1 regarding the person on their mind and who they came here about. Can we look at the energy dynamic between pile 1 and the person they came here about at this time? What is the current energies going on between pile 1 and the person they came here about? What does pile 1 need to know about this dynamic? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message and this connection for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Pile 1, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank your higher self, your person's higher self, spirit team, angels, guides, ancestors for this act of divination. Thank you so, so much. These two are together. So if you don't resonate with one side being your energy, then this is not your pile, okay? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1. Person on their mind. What is the energy, the current energy going on between these two at this time, Spirit? Okay. One of the oracle cards that I created. Energy between pile 1 and the person. It's that one that they came here about. And we'll pull from these oracles as well. Both sides. No, that one's not right. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1. What is energetically going on between pile 1 and the person they came here about? And one more. Okay. Let's make this fit as best we can. I want to cover this up. I'm going to move your deck box over. Okay, this will be interesting. Let's take a look. So person A, we have the 10 of Wands. You're like, that's me. Okay, 6 of Swords in the reverse. All right, and then we have 2 Pentacles, and then we have the 9 of Wands in the reverse. And we have the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. We have Death. Wow, Scorpio energy, and then we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. I think this is you, but I'll let you be the judge of that. All right, and then we have, I just want to see bottom of the deck, Temperance. Beautiful, Sagittarius energy, and then the Knight of Wands energy in the reverse. Person B, and we have the Page of Pentacles, which is giving you the 6 Swords in the reverse energy. Page of Pentacles in the reverse. The Emperor in the reverse. Aries energy. The 10 Swords in the reverse. And the Chariot. Sorry, I was going to say Moon. It's looking like the Moon card. I haven't read this deck in a while, but it's Chariot. Cancer energy. Okay. And then we have the 9 Pentacles in the reverse, and we have Judgment. Wow. All right. And then we have 3 Pentacles. Okay. Let's take a look at this energy. So this is an oracle card that I've made. I'll hold it up. So whatever you pull through with your intuition, take that as a message, but I will channel the energy that I get through this thing. And then we have, oh goodness, this came out in yesterday's reading. I shuffled. Pleasure, organization, relaxation, joy, serenity, celebration, high levels of ethics, 82, 7 and 1. Cancer, Virgo, Gemini energy. And then we have tempering oneself. That's this, can you guys see? Yeah, this temperance. Tempering oneself, restricting distractions, welcoming suffering, simply living, mastering patience, redefining pleasure, recognizing your limits, redefining pleasure. This is pleasure. Type 7, the enthusiast thinking center between pleasure and pain, the heart chakra, and then lie, 48 and 3. Manipulation, cunning, secret, deceit, trickery, and imposter. Type 3, the achiever emotional center between appearance and authenticity with the solar plexus. Okay, let me channel this energy, although it is very clear what's coming through. Okay, pile 1, you're going to resonate with one side being your energy. Otherwise, it's not your pile. I do feel this is you, so I'm going to read it this way, but you can definitely crisscross energy, okay? Because it's hard for me to say A and B, because they'll start saying you and them if that's how the channel comes through. So I want to be consistent. So this feels like A, or right after I say it, this feels like you, okay? Yes, so you're in an energy over here that I feel is really a heavy, difficult energy for sure. It's starting with the 10 wands. And I feel you feel this way because of how this person is sort of enacting in your world, or not enacting, because I feel this person is challenged here. So I feel like there's a heaviness here because you want to get out of the energy that you're currently in. I feel you feel it's challenging. So it feels 5 sword, meaning this person could be in sabotage. This person could be causing arguments. This person could just be so stuck that it's conflicting with what you want to do and where you want to go and what you want to create. And you want progress, you want movement, and you want a balance, giving and receiving, a flow. You don't want stagnation. You don't want stuckness. You don't want to overgive. You don't want to receive breadcrumbs. You don't want there to be anyone sort of holding back, withholding, lying, or going so slow that you're like not able to create what your heart's wanting to share and to experience with this person. But I feel you're back and forth and up and down about what to do about the situation, because I feel like you might feel so burdened by the energy that's going on with this person, and it could feel very intense when you are around this person. So arguments could be really flared up. Passion could be intense when it's going well. The stuck and intense energy could feel so stuck at times where it's like, I gotta do something, you know. But then we could be falling back into, but I have real feelings, but I know that there might be something more with this person. But if I have patience, or if I wait it out, or if I can do something here that might ease the situation, or maybe have them see the truth, or maybe there's more I can do here that I'm not seeing, understanding, or have yet done, or just feeling like it's split down the middle, that the passion is there, the feels are there, and the desire to experience is there, but then the other shit is there too. And I say shit because it feels like a very heavy sort of burden situation, that you're like in these two worlds, you know. And you could certainly be feeling almost even like emotionally up and down based on, are we going okay? Are we conflicted right now? Is this person in their best mode, or are they in sabotage mode? And it's like able to sort of dictate what moods you might be in, or how you feel, or how targeted you might be in where you're going or what's going to unfold, because you're like, what is exactly unfolding? Where is this going? Does this have a long-term future? And saying, well, maybe I should just walk away. Maybe I should just give up. Or you might be working through a process of surrender and then going back to feeling frustration, feeling burdened, feeling heavy by this dynamic. And it's like, yeah, just like, how do I surrender? How do I let things be? How do I not be defensive? How do I not let it impact my energy or my emotions? How do I not feel stuck? Or how do I keep making decisions with forward momentum, even though maybe I'm really tied to someone energetically here that's feeling very stuck? So you could be feeling from this person that they haven't shown you exactly what it is that's making you feel valued and seen and loved and celebrated. And you might feel like they're withholding and that they have been not able to show up in the same level that you've been able to show up, meaning they're not as invested, or they're not as showing that they have this interest in who you are as a person, or your world of what you've built, or what your dreams are, what your vision is, or what your purpose and your passions are, or like appreciating what you have done for them, or how you might have been there for this person, or maybe you've invested a lot of time, or maybe you've been very open and caring and giving, or helped them however you have helped them. And it feels like this person either is asleep on it, doesn't recognize it, has taken it for granted, the connection, or has taken you for granted specifically. And so you're like in this in-between world, I feel. And you might feel like you're stuck, and you also might feel, like I said, overwhelmed here with carrying the bulk of the weight of an imbalanced connection and the reality of that. And then the surrender comes through here as something that you might know intellectually, or also like, if I stop engaging with this person, then things will change in my world, or like there will be something here that will free me from the energy that I am feeling that feels dysregulated or unseen or underpaid and underappreciated, and accepting just minimums from a person who might not be capable or able to step up here. So Spirit is confirming to you, you're going through a major transformation that has absolutely nothing to do with what you can do right or what you're doing wrong. I want you to know this, okay? If this is your energy. You're healing, your person is also healing, which I'll get into. Okay, and the process of healing is whatever tools Spirit needs to utilize in order for the healing to take place. This connection is going to transform you from the beginning of when you met this person to whatever state you're currently at, which is what we're reading here, is profoundly, significantly changing who you are. This is going to shift everything for you, because I feel like you're going to be in an energy, one, that's healing anything that's been sort of in the wound or in the shadow or needing healing or transformation. Okay, so how it is that you engage in connection, maybe how you see yourself, how you love yourself, how you value connection, what you value in partnership, and all of this stuff is going to be experienced through this. Okay, but I think as well, your purpose and your what you're creating here in this world is really going to shift and change as a result of your experience here, even if it's not directly connected to this relationship. It's your energy that's in this mode of transformation. And I feel like in order for this to get you to where you need to sort of be spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and consciously, Spirit needs for this experience to happen in the way that it does. And you could be amidst this feeling like a confidence blow. You could be feeling less than yourself, saying, well, I don't feel optimal, I don't feel desirable, I don't feel chosen, I don't feel appreciated. How is this helping me, you know? And you could feel like in this no man's land, or this void, or this space of like old self and like not quite a new self. Or you could be sort of in both of the worlds. It's like my old self or my myself that I have been comes in, kicks online, and then it carries this energy that makes me feel sort of stuck in the old way, or it's too much for me to carry, and I feel an intensity. And then there's the version of me that might want to be healed, that might want forward movement, that might have a new plan that's aligned with spirit, but it hasn't come yet. And so I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know how this is going to happen, and I don't know what I'm really supposed to be doing. And if I'm supposed to be sort of surrendered here, how do I go about it? And why am I oscillating between these two like worlds? I feel like you guys might be in a period of no contact with this person, potentially, or very limited. Okay, there definitely feels to be distance between you and this person. There definitely seems to be a block in communication. So if you are sort of around, it's like this person isn't speaking, and it's like, well, what do I have to say? Like, I feel like there's a mirroring happening here in regards to communication. Okay, two birds pointing in opposite directions. This has kept coming through my readings lately. Exact imagery, 3 different decks. One bird's that way, one bird's that way. So I feel like there was, for some of you guys, there could have been an ending, okay? An ending to an experience you had with this person, which might have created no contact for some of you guys, okay? But energy is definitely shifting and changing. It definitely can't go back to whatever it was. And there's definitely your energy saying, I can't no more. Like, you can't no more, It's like, I got to put down this burden. I can't carry this no more. But I'm not quite sure. Like, it just feels out of your hands too. It's like, what more can I do? What can I give to this thing? I can't do anything else. I just have to lean into surrender. So whether you fully surrendered, I don't see this here, but I do feel you're open to surrender. I feel like you have no other choice but surrender. I feel like you're saying there's nothing more I can do. There's nothing more I can say. There's nothing more I can prove. There's nothing more to shift the energy. I can't do what I'm doing, the same thing. It's just not going to work. And I'd say you'd be right. So you're right here at the point of surrendering to what's sort of happening here. Okay. Now, I feel like this person is somebody here who is definitely in their shadow with this Emperor in reverse. This does feel like a masculine energy, although it doesn't have to be male so much. Okay. And so this person is somebody here who carries their own shadow wound. For all of you guys, it's going to appear a little different. For some of you guys, it might be on the spectrum of needing control, wanting freedom at all costs, wanting to rebel against creating any sort of form or structure, stepping up into responsibility, or could be somebody who is just lacking a whole bunch of confidence in committing officially or grounding this connection or taking this in a real way forward and stepping up and claiming this connection or speaking their truth about what they want, how they feel, what they can do, what's within their hands, what's within their power, what desires they may have, and how to make it a reality, whether they're going to move things with you and fill you in on the plan. And like, at least, even if it's slow, like, here's the order, the structure, the commitment, or the direction in which this may flow, but none of this is happening. This is blocked. And so I feel like what has happened is it's created this point in this connection that's been very painful. And for some of you guys, like I said, it could have created no contact. It could have created some form of an ending. But to this person, it's not over. It doesn't matter if you've been in no contact for 20 years here, okay? This is not over, because energy can just be sitting there until it needs to get looked at, until it's time to be resolved, until spirit shifts the energy and says there's no escape. Like, you're going to have to face the shadows in your closet, or the whatever, the things that you've been avoiding, or the things you've been not confronting, or the energy that you might not have been wanting to look at, or the truth in which you haven't been able to communicate or speak. So this is not over for this person. This person was most likely also called to this connection in a significant way by the universe. Okay, you have the Death card, Major Arcana, which is the transformation is inevitable. The rebirth is assured of who you are and what you're about. It's a new you that's going to emerge. This person was been called by the universe in order to transmute the shadow, see the shadow self, work through their wounds, which creates this understanding that they have about who they are and how they engage and why they may withhold, why they carry the energy that they do carry about themselves that creates the world that they manifest when it comes to connection. That seems very rigid. It seems very fixed. It seems very stuck. It seems like it wouldn't progress them. This person's being asked to progress and move. So for all of you guys, this person could be in a different point in their world, meaning like if they're like already established and older, they could have like a family that they've been sort of attached to here, and it's time for them to create a new environment that's more suiting for this person, like move forward. But it's like I'm so attached and fixed to the order and structure I've created, and so I'm blind to any sort of movement. I'm blind to any change. I don't want any change that's going to force me to be different. You know, and if this is somebody who's just younger in age, it could be somebody who it's time for them to learn confidence. It's time for them to go after what they want and claim their desires and step up into a masculine energy to speak their truth and to commit and create worlds for them that other people aren't responsible for. Maybe their own world, or that they have more agency over how to create the world that they're being called to create. And for others of you guys, this person is just asked to close out some major part in their world that they're having a difficult time doing. And they might feel like, I don't have the ability in my capability here to close out maybe something that has been lingering for some time, and I feel stuck there. And therefore, I feel challenged by making forward movement or progress because I am still wrapped up in that. Whatever that is, it could be a karmic phase. Okay, so a phase in life that I need to close the chapter, and you're not a part of that phase yet. And so timing has been sort of off here. And it's like, but I can't start with you until this is done. I can't focus on how to build this thing until I resolve this. But it comes with a lot of life lessons about this person because they're going from a shadow emperor or a reverse emperor who isn't stepping into his power to an emperor who is able to create structure, who is able to create his own success, working with the universe in a balanced way that is healthy to show up. Because I do feel this emperor has been removed. This emperor has not been able to give and invest and come balance and create movement. And I do feel like there is a lot of subconscious coming up for this person that's been mirrored to them by your own energy. And so there could just be a lot of fears in who I am, or my fears of like projecting that I cannot successfully maintain something in balance here, and knowing that I'm out of balance, or that I can't maintain balance, and therefore I don't give at all because I need to resolve this or end something here so I could be available to be of balance and to be showing up in a way that can control the flow, because then I'll be too out of control, or this might go in a direction that I have no control over. I feel like this person wants a lot of control and might feel like if they were to engage with you, they'd feel out of control. They'd feel incapable. They'd feel like it's out of their hands. And then it's like my agency and my power is given away to something that then I'll regret in a way, because it might move me in a direction that how do I then engage at that point in time. If I don't believe that I am capable, or if I can't step into an energy of accountability and it starts to move, then I'm out of control. So I feel like this person is being shown the truth all around about their current state of affairs right now. They're awakening to that truth. They're awakening to where they've been withheld. They're awakening to their need for control. And some of them, they have this like unhealthy understanding about their freedom or independence, or being sort of on their own, creating on their own and not needing anyone in their world, to the opposite on the same spectrum, okay, but the opposite end, lacking confidence in themselves to build something with you, but it's becoming very apparent to them that this is the energy that they've held, and that in this energy, they're not balanced. In this energy, they cannot show up and invest. In this energy, things have been not necessarily flowing, but stuck for you guys. And it's like the reality here is this led to arguments or separation or stuckness or no contact or endings or whatever you guys are experiencing here. Some of you guys might be, like I said, in a no contact situation, but I also feel like for some of you guys, there could be other people involved, okay? Like small group of you guys, it could be a third party, but you'd know about it for sure. But if it's not third party, then it's the third energy of this shadow wound here that's having to work its way through this person's realizations and honesty and communicating openly about what this looks like and their unhealthy energy that they hold, which creates this lack of confidence in themselves. And then they say, well, if I'm not confident, then I fear losing control, or I fear that my inability to provide structure or to create order or to stand in power is at a low right now. And what I would need in order to be successful with you would be to be more empowered. Like I'd need to maybe own my own home. I'd need to maybe be able to create with you in a way here that I don't feel I have the resources. Maybe I just feel like I'm lacking the practical know-how if I'm inexperienced, or I could be completely resisting that, in which it might take away some of my freedom here. And like I said, for some of you guys, this person just isn't a third party thing, which makes it unavailable. Now, if you are in no contact, I'm hearing that this person is going to come forward. You're going to hear from this person for sure. Okay. But what this person wants, what they want right now at the time you're watching, is to work with you. They want this. Okay. They really do. However, I think this person is not shown the how to work with you. I think they're being shown the why it hasn't worked, where their shadow is, what's created the no contact or the challenge or the stuckness, where they're sort of held back. But there's a desire to move, but I'm not going to be able to move unless I'm ready or I understand how the movement is going to get me to be successful and to work with you. This person wants to create and work with you. I feel like this person is still masked up, because I do feel like this shadow is still being looked at, is still being transmuted, is still being understood, which ties to their deepest fears of being incompetent or incapable or not in a position to support. And so if they carry a judgment or a belief that's like the male or the more empowered or the masculine figure needs to provide, he must provide financially, he must provide a home, he must be the provider and the secure of structure and order. And if he's still running around partying or engaged in like other karmic situations that are still blocking his development, then it's like, what would I create here? I don't know what I would create in this energy that I'm in, so I'm not available to create until I am available to create, or until this has been seen and worked through, and then I can work through doing what I need to do to show up. And I feel this person is willing to do whatever it takes here. I really feel this person wants nothing more than to show up, move forward, work with you, overcome your challenges, work through your the pain that's been experienced by this person being held up. Be open to communicating with you in a way that doesn't create further conflict. Get you to understand them in a way that gets you to want to work with them and work through things with them. However, I feel this person still has the mask, because I do feel the fears are still looming and still present. And I feel like this person's big fear is they want the control. Okay, I don't feel they want to control you, but I feel like having and wanting control stems from a deep fear of losing control, or like doing something that could like ruin this thing forever. Or they could anticipate doing something foolish or doing something that's whatever, the deepest fear. So we imagine and we project and we magnify a huge sort of story that becomes real to us, and it's paralyzing, and it tells us we're not ready, or we're not good enough, or we need to do this, or we need to understand that, or we should be more here or there before we can even attempt. And so there's this energy that I feel this person is in that's like, I want to show up, but I still don't fully want to be seen, because then if I'm fully seen, that's like my deepest fear, and then you could have control over me or power over me or something like this, you know? But it's like, but I want to learn to trust. I want to learn to work there, but I also want to not fully be seen. I also want not to have to be vulnerable. I also understand that I have these fears. I feel this person has a long-term vision about what they want this connection to be, but the longer-term vision here is coming with a big bag of fear. So I feel like this person has a lot of desire, has a lot of passion. I also feel like this person, if they were just left to how they feel, they could approach you in a fiery way, but this wouldn't get anywhere, because I feel there is a history here that's created a burden upon you, and that their past energy, which could have been like a Knight of Wands here, which meant what? It fizzled out. It didn't necessarily present any substance other than just a showing up, and it didn't go anywhere, and it's created what it created. It's like, is this person just using me for a good time? Does this person have any long-term vision? Is this person just sort of spur of the moment? Are they just sort of going on impulse? Are they just trying to, lie, use whatever, me or take or breadcrumb? Because this Knight of Wands makes one feel this way when they're on the opposite end. However, I don't feel this person wants to be like this. This is the capability or the limit in which they can show up. And so if they can't do that, which I don't feel they can do anymore, then it's like, well, then I got to show up correctly in a way here that is going to be more balanced. But I can't show up like this Knight of Wands anymore. So now I'm in this liminal space. So see the mirroring, liminal void, liminal space. I'm not quite the person I think I need to be in order to show up. And yet it's being shown to me what I was didn't work. So I'm healing who I was, how I showed up, what didn't work. It's being cleared up to me. And in the meantime, it's like I have a desire to connect. I have a desire to move. I have a desire to reach out and communicate with you. I think this person wants nothing more than to connect and communicate with you. But it's like, then what would I say? And I can't really necessarily control the narrative here, because you may ask me certain things that I can't necessarily be upfront about, or because of my fear. So there's this dilemma. Okay, I do feel both of you guys are on honest terms, because I think you need to hear this. I don't know that you necessarily trust this person. Now, of course, use discernment. If this doesn't sound like your energy or pile, I'm not here to create any sort of limerence on anyone who's fucked off and you don't hear. You will know, because there'll be a strong, strong soul tie here to this person. Okay, like strong soul tie to this person who significantly shifted your world. Like if you haven't gone through a major awakening of sorts, and I'm talking like huge transformation in your world, and even if it's just your own internal world, like your energy, how you think, how you engage, then this probably isn't your pile. And then don't take that message that I'm giving you, or any of these messages, because it's not your reading. But I feel like if you've gone through a major awakening or a shift or an energy, or those things are transforming very much in your world, And somehow it's tied to this experience. But you have a strong energy that keeps pulling you back. I think this is the burden here, and this is what we're healing. And yes, it's being mirrored by this person, but it's not this person that's creating the lack of trust so much, okay? And I think you need to hear this because, yes, the energy is coming off your person. And yes, when someone doesn't show up, it's like, can I trust them to be there? No. And then if I can't trust them to be there, then they're a liar, or they're withholding, or they're incapable, or they're this, they're that, they're this. And this is the mirror. It's saying, no, they're none of those things. They're just have their own fears and shadows. The desire to want is there. The desire to work through what they can is there, but there's fears, just like there's fears with you. You might have fear that you're going to overinvest, or you're going to be stuck here forever. You're going to give to someone who takes advantage. Like, these are real fears that you have, and your fears are creating this oscillation, like I said, or this dichotomy of energy, or this up and down energy. And you're like, can I trust them? Are they lying? Are they fully seeing me? Are they, and this person's like, can I trust this connection in order to work through some of the fear? And so they could have fear of, again, like exposing themselves, or like a fear that they'd lose control, or a fear of losing their freedom, or a fear of looking foolish, or a fear of whatever it is that pulls through with this connection. And they have to work through releasing certain energies before they can be in an energy that's workable. And I feel like that is in Spirit's hands. And of course, them working with Spirit, just like Spirit wants a certain level of healing and understanding with yourself. So both you guys are working through your temperance energy individually before we can allow Spirit to bring us together. Because Spirit is saying, like, both of you guys have, like, I'm seeing this two-sided solar plexus energy from both sides that are very beautiful and independent and free, and all of the beautiful things that the solar plexus brings. Okay, but then there's also the shadow of the solar plexus here, which is when we feel as though like our energy is being threatened in a way here that's like, I'm not seen for my value, or I'm not, the ego feels threatened is what I should say, okay? Because when we go beyond the surface, we know that if someone is like wounded or shadowed or not capable of stepping forward, it doesn't automatically kick it back to, I'm not seen as valuable, I'm not appreciated, I'm not, right? But this is the solar plexus that fires this off, because I feel like there was an ego mirror being shown to the solar plexus for you in regards to what your own self-worth looks like in your own eyes, not from someone else, what you're deserving of, who you are aside from connection, what you're all about, and all of this stuff. And so if we have a shadow in the solar plexus energy, we have beliefs that are like, my external world needs to support and reinforce these types of beliefs I have about myself, whether they're true or not true, whether they feel good or not, whether they make me feel empowered or not, whether, because this could be an energy of, I'm so confident, free, independent, beautiful, and all of these. Okay, which we could say, well, that's good to have that. It's like, but when it comes from solar plexus, it's trying to seek out there a mirror to validate that I am worthy, that I am beautiful, that I am worth all of this stuff and appreciation. But when the mirror withholds, when the mirror doesn't come, when the relationship isn't supporting that, then it's like, oh, where do I go? It's like, where do you go? To the heart? Because the heart doesn't wear a mask. The heart doesn't need validation. The heart doesn't need to ask for permission. The heart isn't seeking external anything. The heart is just emanating, and you're learning to emanate from the heart, not to chase from the ego or from the solar plexus energy, your person. Also, solar plexus wounding here, because what they have is, like I said, on the spectrum, because both sides of the spectrum, when we lean in too much one way or too much the other, it's both a challenge. So we got to find a bit of middle tempered ground. And where are they swinging? Like I said, for some of you guys, a whole lack of self-confidence that gets in the way of this person building a future, like an actual solid, stable, committable future they could build, and just trust themselves to work with spirit, to flow, to move, to create and find happiness and show up in connection, because they have a lack of confidence deep down in their wound. And so they just tell themselves or show up as someone who is withholding and capable and not doing it. For others of you guys, they're on the polar side of the extreme, which, by the way, has the same wound. And it's still shadow solar plexus, which is like, I'll lose my freedom. It's like my way or the highway. I need to control this thing. And they could be outwardly saying all this stuff, but it's like, because the lack of confidence in anything else sort of flowing would make this person feel out of control in some way. Okay. But they might carry a false sense of confidence, a false sense of control, a false sense of who they are and what they're about, and connection will change it, and I don't want to change who I am or what I do. And it's like, but that's not even you. That's a solar plexus version of you. So I feel like there's solar plexus wounding, and there is like truths that are being shown from the heart only, not from the ego. And that both you guys stand firm in your positions that need to be exposed. And I feel like you're in the mask of the Queen of Wands in reverse, which means the false self is being shown to you. And this person's in a mask, like I said, because I feel like their need for control or their hiding and withholding strategy created tension and is creating a world here that isn't getting to enjoy you. Both of you guys feel the same. Okay, there's a joy together. There's a beautiful energy together. I feel like what's not online here is the structure, the organization of getting it sort of to work. And I feel like it's not just because your person can't step forward and create organization and structure. I feel like you're in an energy that Spirit says is also like shaky ground here that can't be built upon. And so this is why this process goes very deep, because when we surrender, we're no longer in the up, down, in this turbulent energy. And if you're in turbulent energy, we cannot build a house on sand or turbulence or in waves or up and downness. And so this person is calling it correctly. And I think maybe we are not seeing that. And yes, you're also calling it correctly, because you're saying they're stuck, they have shadow, they're not doing this and that. And you're right, they're not. And so this is why it's like when we see from perspectives all around, we can see truths and everything. And then the heart comes online and says, have I been so focused and my bottleneck vision, or whatever we want to call it, my tight vision of what I saw and what was challenging me and how it was impacting me and why it was this person creating my suffering. And it was me who carried the burden. It was I who felt stuck. It was me who whatever. And we could really see that. And it is the experience, and it is very right. But this person, what they would say here is also this, like, if I could just not engage in anything here, I wouldn't be threatening you. I wouldn't be trying to make you feel not worthy. I wouldn't be making you feel like I have to give you anything or provide you with anything, because one, they'd be accurate. They don't owe you anything. They shouldn't have to give of anything. However, if they are in truth and not wearing masks and not in fear, then they would naturally flow and give, but they don't know how here because they're not healed and they're not in a balanced energy. So this inability to be balanced, and your inability to be balanced, and both of you guys in an inability to create this structure, this organization, Spirit says, not yet, not ready, learn more lessons, heal more, get more balance, temper yourself, come into union with yourself, learn to surrender, learn to trust yourself, get out of your own fears of needing control or your lack of self-confidence in what you have, and then you'll be ready. And they're being called to see this, and you're being called to work through your shadow wound. And Spirit's saying, like, happiness here could be a thing once the ego is seen through, once the pain that's experienced in seeing beyond this, it gets transmuted or worked through, because the pain we experience is real. We're experiencing suffering or pain or whatever we experience. Okay, but when we see the truth, it's like the pain subsides, the shadow gets transmuted. It no longer defines us. We're no longer driven by it. We're no longer burdened by it. We're no longer thinking the thoughts that we have. We're no longer oscillating between two worlds. We're no longer feeling stuck or turbulent or one moment that or that, or pulled by emotion, because we've resolved what we were being called to resolve. So I feel like there is a lot of healing that's this connection is doing. And this is all about how to love from the heart space. So both you guys are healing mother wounds or parental, however it came. If there's abandonment, if there is a block to love, I couldn't receive love because I didn't feel worthy in the deepest level, or I wasn't able to give love because I wasn't feeling safe enough to do so or be exposed. Okay, now this is very tricky because we might think we're in a position to give and receive love. And this is how the solar plexus wound sort of tricks us in a way, because we might really feel if we're able to show up in a mask, in a way here that can do something. Spirit knows what's from heart and what's from manipulation. Spirit knows what's trying to get energy to change, what's trying to create something that's not based in heart and true unconditional love. And so I feel like you are approaching this connection, whether you see it now or not from necessarily love, but from a transactional standpoint is what it shows here, okay? And that's hard to understand when we're still in solar plexus, when we're still trying to heal certain things. But what this connection is about how do I love from the heart space, unconditionally, being able to give and receive love in a healthy way. This doesn't mean I keep over giving in a way that doesn't allow myself to love me. But it's like, how do I make this so it's not transactional? So my happiness isn't dependent on whether this person is giving or showing, or because it's not transactional. It's like, I could love this person, period. Everything else is just a construct of the solar plexus. And the solar plexus hangs on to that idea like it's truth, you know? It says, well, if you can't do this, if you can't commit, if you can't build, if you can't, then it means all sorts of things. It's like, are you sure? Is that a lie? Is that a construct of the ego that wants to believe that it needs all of these things, and then it's loved, and then it's safe, and then it's valued, because it's fighting to be seen, it's fighting to be acknowledged, it's fighting to want to get what it wants, because the ego wants what it wants, but that's coming from ego, because the heart doesn't say, I need to fight. The heart doesn't say anything other than let me love, and let me be open to receive love at its truest level. Okay, and just like I always say, like the sun is like the heart here. It's the center of the solar system. The sun just shines. It gives out unconditional love. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't have any conditions where it says, well, on this day I don't, and only if you show up then I do, and if you come correctly then I won't, and if you don't commit then this won't happen. And no, then that's the solar plexus love. That's the mask trying to engage. And this person knows, because they can connect. They can connect just like you can connect, because I feel you know. This is why you're oscillating. This is why you're overburdened here, because I feel you understand the depth of this person. The love is true, and it's all that. So it makes it challenging. It's like, if the love is true, then why are they withholding? If the love is true, then they should do this or they should do that, you know? If this love is as deep as you feel, then this is why we're having a whole rebirth and a whole death process happening. It's very significant. It's very spiritual. It's very profound, and it's very deep, and it's very real. But it's like, it only feels real if we're like, you know, like satisfying the egos. And that would be true if we believed we were form. That would be true if we were just engaged in the 3D transactional dimension. But this isn't. So this transcends beyond this 3D. This is coming from heart. This is a higher level. And Spirit is saying, like, this high level of engagement here has to unfold, and it unfolds in an organic way, and healing happens so that we can be balanced in a way that allows both of you guys to come together, to show together, and to engage together. Okay, so this is what's going on here, pile number one. I hope this helped you. I don't know that I said the signs, but I will. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, more Aries, Cancer, more Sagittarius, more Cancer, Taurus, Libra, more Cancer, Virgo, Gemini, and some Leo. All right. I hope this helped you guys. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you at the next one. All right. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful pile number 2. You guys picked the Crow Tarot. And I'm going to move your box over here so it's out of our way and we can lay all the cards out. So what we're looking at is you versus them. Okay, like I said in the intro, the them is intended to be the person on your mind, but sometimes spirit hijacks, and what we end up getting is the person we're not expecting to hear from, or another aspect of ourselves, or the energy around us that doesn't belong to person, but it could certainly belong to person, place, thing that's going on in our energy field. Okay, so my intention is to bring up the person on your mind and to do a you versus them. And if you're on this side or this side, then this is your pile. If you're on neither side, then it's not your reading for someone else. Okay, so clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2, Spirit. We're looking at current energies going on between pile number 2, the person they came here about. Feelings, thoughts, energy. What's going on in the dynamic between pile 2 and the person they came here about for the greatest and highest good of this connection? Pile 2, the person they came here about. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message and this connection for the greatest and highest good. Thank you, spirits. Thank you, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy and your person's energy. I'd like to thank your higher self, your person's higher self, spirit team, angels, guides, ancestors, and spirit for this act of divination. Thank you so much. What is going on between person A and person B? Spirit at this time. Current energies. I feel this one first. Person A versus person B. What's going on in this connection? Please help me to channel in a way that pile number 2 will understand. All right. So I'll put it there. I have a few oracle cards. The ones I've created here. The shared energy, spirit for pile 2. The energy going on between. Oh, you guys got 2 of those. All right. Between pile 2 and their person they came here about. What does pile 2 need to know about this connection and what is going on here at this time? Oh my goodness, you guys got a lot of energy coming through. We have space to lay this all out. Pile number 2. And more deck. What is the energy going on between pile 2 and the person they came here about in this connection? What do they need to know about them versus this person? Current state. Is there another? No. Okay. Thank God, because I don't know that I was able to fit all this stuffs. Okay. Let's start with this. So we have the 10 of Wands in the reverse. Interesting. That's how we opened up pile 1. The Fool, Aquarius energy. And we have, the Knight of Swords. We have the Ace of Cups. Beautiful. We have the 6 of Swords. And we have the 3 Swords in the reverse. Okay. And the other person on this side, Page Swords. Well, this is bottom of the deck. Sorry, Swords. Just shared energy. Page of Pentacles in the reverse. 2 pages. Let me move this down. Can you guys see? Yes. Okay. We have 8 Pentacles in the reverse. 10 Cups in the reverse. 9 Swords in the reverse. Oh my goodness. 7 Pentacles in the reverse. Wow, okay. And 2 Swords in the reverse. No, not in the reverse, in the upright. And 2 Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Yes, 22 is a master number. Divinely guided relationships. Healthy energetic boundaries. Okay, I'm feeling divinely guided for sure here with this energy. Okay, so let's take a look at the shared So we have this oracle card that I made. So it looks kind of like a peacock. And this one. You're reading the energy intuitively, okay? And then we have 50 and 5, sharing knowledge, contributing to the world, welcoming emotions, committing, listening to feelings, daring to be a leader, incarnating your body. Type 5, the observer, thinking center between interior and exterior. So blue is authentic self-expression, which is tied to this peacock energy. Okay, beautiful. And then we have inner peace, 10 and 1. Inner call, ego level, letting go versus control, spontaneity, flexibility, tolerance, compassion, and imperfection. Type 1, the perfectionist, instinctive center between control and letting go, with 10 and 1. And then we have poverty, 67 and 4. Limited opportunities, lack of recognition, delusion, marginalization, social stigmatization, artistic collaboration. Type 4, the individualist, emotional center between lack and abundance. 4. And then we have appearances, getting noticed, showing off, parading, dazzling, flashiness, loves to impress. Type 3, the achiever, emotional center between appearance and authenticity, with the solar plexus. And then we have joy, with 7, lots of projects, enthusiasm, pleasure, freedom, optimism, good mood. Type 7, enthusiast, thinking center between pleasure and pain. So heart chakra, solar plexus, throat chakra, we have the lower self, or the 3D self, and we have the spiritual chakra coming out. And then we have all the signs here, which I'll get into once I dive into this energy. So let me just sit with the energy before I channel and get into your reading. You guys can definitely skip ahead. Okay, pile number 2. I feel you're on this side, but it's up to you to decide whose is what, okay? I feel like this could be your person over here, but you apply. Oh boy, this is honestly a good energy, although it might not feel so much, because at this point we're probably just really exhausted here, you know? Completely. And so it's almost like, who cares at the end of the day, you know? And we could, because I do feel over here, this is sort of where we're at. And so, but the who cares isn't necessarily giving up so much as it is surrendering, you know, and they are two different things. But anyway, let me start with this person. I almost feel like starting with this person, because that's why this person's doing what they're doing. But I'm going to stick here. This person is in the process of surrender. Now, we could surrender many different times and points in time about different things. So surrender doesn't mean I surrender every single thing in my world, and now I'm available to engage completely, peaceful, and giving it all up. You know, surrender is a process, and we could surrender in many different steps. But whatever this person is surrendering here, I feel has been a long time coming, because I do feel like this person was very challenged, which created conflict for you, because this person was unable to move and trust themselves to explore this connection, or themselves in showing up for this connection, or communicating what they're feeling, or even trusting that stepping forward and relying on the energy that they're in to show up, or to move, or to trust, or to engage, or to speak, or to do any of this was maybe hidden under lock and key. You know, this person could have been so heavily burdened by their own inability to trust themselves that it's created a lot of suffering for them. Okay. But of course, you're only experiencing the suffering that you're experiencing by being around this, because I feel like this would have been a very challenging energy, because I feel there's a lot here about expression. So someone who might be challenged in speaking how they feel, what it is that they're wanting, or what they envision, or communicating, or even being seen, I feel like there was a lot of inner conflict this person could have been working through in order to get to this stage. And this could have been something that they've carried for who knows how many lifetimes, or through an experience of the past, or through another connection, okay, or through whatever they experienced in their world that's created this complex, if you will, where they were not necessarily allowing themselves to come forward and confront what they need to confront here in order for them to be able to experience love. This person could have carried a belief that, like, I'm not ready to love, or be lovable, or give love, or experience love. Like, this person felt unprepared, or not ready, or like maybe they told themselves, I'll never love again, or I'm just unlovable. Like, of course, these aren't words that they'd be saying out loud to you. But it's like when we carry deep three-sword wounding in the energy body somewhere in the subconscious, or as an experience, its effects are very real. And then we close that chapter, and then we act in a way that protects this from happening again. So I don't explore, I don't have new beginnings, I'm blocked to love, I don't know how to give or receive, I'm not open to having a new beginning for myself, I don't know self-worth, I'm like maybe protecting myself, maybe I'm just like in an energy that doesn't allow me to engage, to trust, to flow, to move, to communicate. And I feel this person might have been there for some time with the 10. Okay, 10 wands in the reverse, though, is like, I'm putting down this burden. I'm putting down this thing that's been a thorn in my side, that's been getting in the way of me trusting, confronting, and dealing with, and speaking, and forward facing whatever I do need to do in order to engage. And so now I feel like what this tells me is that this connection is worth me, like the scales have tipped, rather than the fear and the wounding and the experience being the bigger driver here. The love I feel, the truth I feel, the desire to see, and this truth that is coming online that wants to be experienced and expressed as a result of this connection, it's here. And the only way for me to allow myself to engage here is to put down anything that gets in its way. And so I feel like this person has a lot of passion for this connection. There's a lot of truth that comes online for this person about what you mean and what they want to express. And I feel this person is choosing and wanting to choose with their truth and with their free will and with their power to come towards you, to communicate to you what they feel. I feel this person's been significantly changed by this connection as well. I feel like this person could have definitely been in a mindset that's like, it's not worth me exploring at some point in time because maybe I can't trust it, or I can't trust myself, or I can't ever trust connection as a whole, not necessarily you. Or like, I don't know where it would lead to, and it could result in an experience that has hurt me in the past, and how sure am I that I could trust it, or any of this stuff, And this is the type of energy that could have created like the challenge or the sabotage. But I feel like really what was the challenge that this person had was stemmed from a lack of self-worth and an inability for them to connect to their truth, and for them to give themselves permission to experience love, to let love in, and that they are capable of giving and receiving love. And this love feels good, and you make me feel full, and this is fulfilling. And I could just be here totally burdened by this truth, not doing anything, not being honest, not confronting, not speaking, not expressing, and lie to myself, lie to my soul, lie to my heart. So I feel like this person's truth is here. It's beautiful. It's here. It's coming forward. It's coming towards you. I feel it's been very slow going, but I feel like it's online, and it wants to take action, and it wants to respond, and it wants to engage for sure. Okay. So I feel like you, on the other hand, over here, which I do feel is you, but this other person. So I'm going to read it as you just so I don't confuse things, but you could definitely flip it. I feel like both these people are having a beginning of an understanding, because I do feel this is new energy. Of course, I'm reading current, but it feels new because I feel like this 10 wands wouldn't be here necessarily if this person hasn't recently put down this burden, hasn't recently come out of this challenging energy, hasn't recently decided to put down what was holding them back. So I feel like all your energy is showing this. It's surrender, but it's shown here as something that feels very not good. It's like, well, the future that could have been here, I guess it's not necessarily going to happen with this person. What is the point in carrying a whole bunch of worry or anxiety about whether it would happen, where it is going to go? I'm not going to do anything here. There's nothing I can do. I feel like anything that I'm able to do is not going to generate a 10 cup. It's not going to be helping this situation to move. It's just going to exhaust me. So I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I might have spent who knows how long here. I felt stuck. I felt like there was no direction given to me. I felt like no matter what I would do or how long I was there investing or what I could do was not going to shift the situation. I felt like this connection wasn't showing me that it had any goal to be sustainable for long term. And I felt like I was pulled in all sorts of directions based on if this connection was up or down, or whether it was going to be something positive or not. And I don't want it controlling my moods. I don't want it impacting my mental health. I don't want to be concerned so much about where this is going or why it's stuck or what it means and whether there's a future or whether this person can prioritize me, whether this thing could manifest in the 3D, whether I'm going to be like, I don't know, in a dynamic that isn't necessarily fair or invested in creating a solid thing that can stand the test of time or that can last or that is clear. And it's like, unless this person was clear, then it's like I have no other choice, because I don't want to be stuck in limbo, or I don't want to be stuck in the blind. I don't want to not know what my future entails and how this can go. And if I don't know, then I could literally be sort of anticipating or stuck in my mind, like thinking about where it could go and how it could go and what has happened. And I don't want to be there. So there's a recent realization that I don't have to be there, and that I don't have to keep investing or giving, and that I'm accepting that this thing isn't my be-all end-all. I'm accepting that maybe my idolization or my fantasy or my dream about a future or happily ever after with this person might have been just a fart in the wind. It's a fart in the wind over here. And so why would I keep trying and trying and trying? It's like, no, like it's already proven it's nowhere. It's going nowhere fast. It's been stuck for some time. It's not communicating anything here to me. This person has been doing what they're doing here. And so some of you guys might have just sort of pulled your energy away. Even if you're in this person's world, you're just not doing what you might have been at one point. Maybe you were overgiving. Maybe you were fully invested. Maybe you were trying to prove to this person. Maybe you were trying to make them feel safe. Maybe you were trying to just water this garden or nurture this person, or like prove to them like this is worthy, it's capable. I'm here. I'm consistent. I'm showing you effort. I'm showing you love. I believe in the dream. I have the vision. And now it's like, meh. It's not going to be anything here. All I've experienced is sort of disappointments. Okay, so this is your energy, and that's your person. And so see how this is sort of inverted and flipped. So I feel a 5 wand energy, but I feel a 5 wand from the pure self. And what that means is that what we are experiencing here is coming from the truer place, not from the ego, which would be attached. So runner chaser could look like, or anxious avoidant and dismissive avoidant can look like, or whatever dynamic you want to call, push pull, the masculine feminine polarity, those dynamics, when they're in shadow, it's a pulling away and a leaning in and a chasing dynamic. Okay, it's like we attach and we try to control and we try to force outcome. And that gets us in the cycle of non-surrender and trying to force outcome or trying to do something, you know, and this person, like I said, was having to be shown something about the truth of their authenticity in order to express themselves, what they truly feel and want, and not carry the burden. I feel this person was blocked in expression here. So much so, you know, so I feel like both of you guys have sort of showed the conscious mirror of pure self. And I feel the pure self is the truest expression that isn't predicated on a doing or a needing or a showing or an untruth. It's a truth here, even if it's imperfect, even if it feels like it's like something here that could be conflicting, because it's like, I don't want to have to be in this energy in order for then this person to then want something, you know. But energy polarity and energy dynamics is, well, guess what? This person is in this energy because of the fact that we had some sort of surrender. And this is why I said at the beginning with the card layout, 22 is a master number, which is divinely guided relationships. So these divinely guided relationships are showing us the truth, our true expression, the pure self, and how we give love and what love means and what true joy looks like. So I feel like we had a belief in scarcity with this poverty. This is 5 Pentacle energy, which is when I'm not shown, when I'm not prioritized, then I'm a 5 Pentacle. I'm left out in the cold. I'm not loved. I'm not chosen. And this person could have a 5 Pentacle energy here of like, I'm incapable of expressing how I feel or starting love or starting new or accepting the fact that I'm worthy of love and giving love and I can have a new beginning. So this inner peace is being called, is being experienced, because I feel like you've gone through a journey or an experience where you might have felt you had no choice but to surrender, and you're at the point of surrender. Because this inner peace is like, I don't want to feel anxious. I don't want to feel up and down based on someone's shutting me out or not communicating or expressing or giving or whether they have a new beginning or not. But when it's so divinely guided like this, it's like, I couldn't just make the choice to just leave. I couldn't just pull my energy prematurely. I still believed in lack, or I still experienced this 5 Pentacle, and what Spirit wanted to show in this divinely guided experience was an inner peace. So we have letting go versus control, because this person was trying to control so much so that it became such a burden here, because it's like, I need to control it, because if I don't, then I'm exposed to broken heart. I'm exposed to maybe being taken advantage of or hurt, or this fear that I have and I don't want to risk. And so I'm trying to control it so much so that's going against my truth, because the truth is this person felt love. The truth is this person wanted to give love. The truth is this person could feel an authentic divine connection to you. Okay. And you will control versus letting go, meaning I don't have to sit here giving and dressing this up like, look at how much service I can provide and how much value I can give and how consistent I can be, because it was this control masquerading as investment and giving and caring. But it's like, no, this is maybe control. It's trying to make something be something that it might have not have been. This person was not ready. This person was held back. This person was not in a position, and we weren't in a position to let it go. But I feel like you are in a position to let go. In fact, I feel a lot of you have let go. I feel like once we were able to be flexible, to be tolerant of the fact that everyone's at a different stage here, and this has nothing to do with what I can do or my worth or what I can invest. And it's like, you have compassion, true compassion, because true compassion doesn't mean I'm here giving endlessly to a situation. It's like, I can understand it, I can accept it, and I can also hold my vibration of what I need. And so we have these 5 wands, because I feel like what you need is become a priority on your list. Whereas in the past, maybe it's like what you needed was something you couldn't necessarily control or get from this person. And that was keeping the imbalance, because it's like, I truly want this 10 cups and I can't create a 10 cups on my own. And it's like, how can I fight for the 10 cups? I have to just do this thing towards this person consistently, trying to nurture it and do and be and jump through hoops or whatever, exhausting. But it's still always up and down, because it's like, no matter what I did here, it's like, maybe it's like I felt some energy of this person underneath it all that was true, that was beautiful. But it's like in the 3D world, it's like I wasn't going anywhere maintaining this. The 10 cups was not happening, not happening, not happening, not happening. And so the only thing I can do is consciously get out of a 2 pentacle myself, because the 2 pentacle was creating anxiety. 2 pentacle was keeping me in my mind. 2 pentacle was keeping me stuck on this connection. And so this is like this 5 wand energy, because now it's like I don't want to necessarily do anything here. And this person's like, well, I want to do something and communicate something here. And so there's this energy clash, if you will, because we're not still both singing from the same songbook, although we're both true and pure to the truth of the matter underneath the wound or the shadow. So this is why I say it's beautiful. Okay, now where it goes from here, I have no idea, because I feel like, according to you, you're saying, well, there's no more potential here in the 3D with this person. I've given up trying to make it a thing. And I don't think you're resisting so much as you're saying, I'm letting it be and letting it go, or I have already let it go. I mean, it is showing here, you know? And so why I feel you're still here is because I feel this divine lesson of experiences showing you something about self. And so this is what's kind of annoying when we read tarot, or when we hear of tarot readers be like, oh, if you were over this person, you wouldn't listen to tarot readings, or like you'd be truly over them or your energy. It's like, yeah, dummy, because divinely guided relationships, there's no trumping the universe and just untangling your energy from a divine experience. And this divine experience was showing something greater than just a transactional relationship. This person was learning to love again, to love themselves, to trust themselves, to open this door. You, on the other hand, was learning to let go, to surrender, to not have to control, to not have to maybe prove or overextend yourself or do something here, you know? It's like true love that you can experience doesn't have to be, you don't have to prove it or do anything to maintain a future of happiness and joy and inner peace. Inner peace is yours to claim, because I feel like there's a lot of stress and anxiety and mental anguish you've gone through in this, and you've seen behind the veil of scarcity and being without, or feeling on the outs, or not being chosen, or like no matter what I do or how invested, it's like I feel not in this connection no matter what. And it's like, yeah, because your only choice was to let go. Your only choice was to extend compassion. That's it. That's all you could do. But it's like, I can't have compassion when I feel like I want a future. I can't extend compassion. Like, I mean, yes, we were compassion, we feel love, but it's like the desire to have the future is greater. The anxiety is greater. The attachment is greater than it is compassion to say, I can see what's really going on here. I could find peace amongst this thing. I could see through the scarcity, or I could see through the thing that I feel was lacking. I felt it was lacking something that I needed, and it still doesn't have what it is that I fully can take, but I know what love is. I know how I can feel connected to heart space. I know how I connect to inner peace. I connect to inner peace by not hanging on to any situations that create me mind activities that don't let me just be in peace, be at rest, be content. When I attach to ideas of the future, and when I start to invest in that and it doesn't go anywhere, then I create suffering. Then the inner peace goes out the window. And so the only thing I can really do is like keep leaning into this, it's not going to happen energy, you know? And so, yeah, and this, like I said, is 5 wand, but it's pure. And so this is why I said, well, it's kind of like a perfect imperfection. We have here imperfection, because that's exactly like, it's like 2 different pages, but it's like, it's truths coming online from both of you guys. And so it's not dressed up as a truth, but it's an ego or a proving or an attachment or a need for control or something like this, or a desire to attain some sort of idolized understanding of a future or vision or dream. And this person's imperfection here is like, it took them to a point here where it's like, stepping forward in this energy where it's like, well, have they missed the door? Like, you know, but it's like, well, they connected to themselves, and this is a win. And so I feel like this person was incapable, actually, to be honest with you, of expressing emotions. I really do. I feel like this person had a block here because whatever was really traumatic, and they might not even remember how this formed, unless they do, because it could be childhood. But if it's past life, I feel this person couldn't express. This person might have a hard time saying, I love you, or I feel, or I am here, or I am wanting, or I need, or I feel this way for you, or I'm attracted to you, or I want you, or I'm needing, wanting, whatever. This person had a very hard time with this. And now I feel like they are some sort of pathway has been connected to their feelings, to that in which they're expressing or taking action on. And so even if they're limited in words, I feel like there is a connection now to that in which they take action on, and there's an authenticity that is undeniable, and the connection has been made. And so I do feel this person is going to communicate to you more than they have, for sure, even if they may not come with full revelations of the deepest, darkest feels. I still feel it's surface in a way because they're still learning the depths of their own emotions here, but at least the bridgeway is done, or the connection is done here. Okay, welcoming emotions, listening to feelings, and committing. I feel this person wants to commit to a future here with you. I feel like this divinely guided relationship is about collective healing, okay, contributing to the world. So I feel like there's this experience that's happening between you and this person. And specifically, we could see it in this person healing their authentic expression because they were wounded. They had an experience that kept their emotions blocked, that wasn't allowing them to honor their feelings, sit with their feelings, communicate their feelings, trust themselves, you know? And as a result of whatever you've done here, not here, I feel you've already done it. It's whatever you did do. You were tolerant, you were invested, you were by this person's side, you were giving, you were consistent, you were trying to nurture them. I think you were trying to grow this. You were trying, you know? So what I do feel Spirit is saying here is that whatever we were wanting at some point in time that was coming from the ego self, the need to be approved, validated, the transactional part that then silences because it gets what it wanted or what it thought that it needed in order to create a happy future. This thing goes away. And because we're seeing the truth of love, we're seeing the truth of compassion and how we can see beyond superficiality, see beyond separation, see beyond lack, see beyond what this person can do for me or has not yet done, or whatever this sort of idea is that we held. And so now it doesn't mean you're empty-handed here. What I feel Spirit is saying is there's no need for you to be in an energy of over-giving, consistently having to do anything at all. The Spirit is saying just be. Just be, because I feel like this person has opened a door here. And I feel like this person is coming through as someone who is now sort of coming with their part of whatever their contract is with you, because contracts have to be double-sided. It's not a one-sided contract, or else it's not a contract. It can't be, I get all your stuff and you do nothing. Or I buy your home, I give you money, and then you don't give me your home. No, then I just give you money. That's not a contract. And so the contract, divinely guided relationships, is I'm going to show you by whatever experience we had, not consciously, of course. You might have not have known what you were doing here. What you were doing was showing this person how to connect to their I love yous and I feels, and I can say my truth, and I can experience what I experience and feel safe enough to express it, to trust it, to lean into it, not to fight it, not to hold it in, not to suppress it, not to resist it or to fear it, but to honor it and to see it and to commit to that in which I want. And this person was not able to do this. So this is a win. And now it's like, what are they coming here with? I don't see. if I'm being honest with you. All I see is them coming towards you. I feel them definitely communicating their truth here towards you. I feel a lot of healing has been done. I feel like we're finally getting to see beyond superficiality, beyond scarcity, beyond lack, beyond suppression, beyond heaviness, beyond exhaustion, beyond fantasizing about what could be and never has been, and it's been up and down, and it's been keeping me in limbo. It's been exhausting me mentally. It's been non-directional. It's been keeping me in the blind. It hasn't been pointed. And it's like, what do we have? I think both of you guys right now have an inner peace going on, because I think even though we're this, I don't feel you're angry. I feel you just gone through the ringer. And it's like, but I'm in inner peace. I've let it go. I'm no longer stressing here. I'm just allowing myself to be in compassion and love. And I'm seeing when I do dip back into 5 Pentacle, or when I dip into ego, or when I come out of the heart space all of a sudden, and I find myself back in ego, back wanting to be seen, or back wanting to get noticed, or back wanting validation. It's like I could see it and I know the difference. And this is it. It's like, yes, the ego never sort of dies. It's like just knowing the difference, knowing when we're in giving and receiving, knowing when we're over invested, knowing when it's exhausting, knowing when there's nothing we can sort of do in order to win someone in a way that's going to control how they say, what they do, what they're going to build for us or for themselves. And I feel you knew the truth of this person before this person sort of connected to it. You know, the truth is this person is worthy of love. The truth is this person was being called to express and act on this. The truth is this person was really, really being called to confront and deal with that in which they feared too much, even though they had true feels here for this connection. And they were working through this, however long this has taken, for some of you guys, many, many years, you know? So there's progress here. That there is, I think you guys repeated a lot of different sort of cycles here. I feel there is a freedom that comes through this next phase, because this freedom is coming through as an inner peace, connecting to true unconditional love of self, honoring the true self. And I think you can express what you've experienced here to this person. I was exhausted, or I envisioned a future. I felt it wasn't going nowhere. I felt like I was maybe not a priority. I felt like I was sort of having to do everything or figure everything out, or like I was endlessly sort of pouring myself, and not to make this person feel bad or to shift the energy, but you can see this now. And it's like, well, why would I do this? Why would I confront the situation and be blocked here and be on an opposite side? I could just sort of understand what it is that is within my capability. But I think you're just here at the doorway of saying, well, I guess this isn't a thing, or I guess it's not going to manifest, or I guess the opportunity that I was trying to make is something that didn't take off the ground, or this person isn't reliable to build with. And I'm starting to really understand this and accept this and see clearly this. And I just fully want to understand, like, what now, and where do I go from here now that this opportunity has been not the real thing, or it hasn't been experienced in the way that I figured it could have been, or should have been, or wanted it to be. I feel there's a lot of childhood wounding that gets created, because it's like our beliefs, the way we feel like others can see me or validate me or notice me or appreciate me or make me feel a certain way, you know, which gets developed as a child. And so there's a lot that goes into your person's 3 sword. And I feel like there's a lot here that was being shown to you in regards to your own egoic self and value and self-worth and being of service and unconditional love and having joy and being free and, you know, anxieties and thoughts and sort of knowing the difference here. So your person is going to communicate to you if you are in a period of no contact. If you've already sort of abandoned ship here, they're coming forward, and you don't have to engage with this person. I mean, I do feel you're free, but I feel like for some of you guys with this 22, there's more to this contract. But what Spirit's saying is not more for you to do, not more that you need to expose or anything. I just feel like Spirit is saying, let your experience be valid in what you've experienced. Let yourself observe what sort of unfolds here from this person's side, because I feel this person wants you to know. I feel this person wants to share with you truths of what they're feeling. I feel this person's excited about this truth, because it's felt and it's free. I think you freed this person. This person feels free, free to move with love in a way that they weren't before you sort of got in the picture here. So this is a very beautiful reading. And I do feel like this person wants you to, I don't feel like this person wants you to like necessarily support that part of them anymore, but I feel they want you to be open to them coming in to appreciate you and tell you how beautiful you are. I feel this person sees you as someone who is spectacular, beautiful, really pulling them in with your beauty, So it's like a breathtaking beauty that's really this person feels in your energy that I don't think that they've been able to tell you, that's been sort of withheld from your knowing here. And it's like, I want to tell you so that you understand it, not so that you can do anything other than me just tell you the truth. Because I feel this person was really, really intensely sort of feeling your energy, but like withholding it and like suppressing this truth so much so that it's sort of blowing up, or it blew up here. Yeah. All right. So pile number 2, this is your reading. Wow. What a reading. I'll just say the signs in case I did not. We have Taurus, Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, Aries, Scorpio, Libra, Cancer. Yeah, and a little bit of Leo here. Oh, sorry, and Aquarius, if I didn't say. What I notice now is like there's no major arcana at all. And so this is also telling me, because we have a 10 here, and we have a 10 here, and I was saying a cycle that's been experienced, and I feel like, and a 10 here, and I feel it's because we've learned the side of the contract, it's closed, there's an ending to whatever suffering, and there's a beginning of inner peace. And how this unfolds, I don't see here, like I said. But things are definitely at the point here where things shift, where stability can be created, because we've learned the giving and receiving of love here from an unconditional heart space. The tower has fallen, or the false self has fallen. The awakening has happened. The integration has happened. And so I feel like what's next is like the next chapter here, and it's no longer this like major arcana, or the universe was sort of to really sort of come through with these heavy energies in order to really get us to see the inner peace, let go, surrender, see through scarcity, work through these beliefs, the ego, and all of this stuff. It's like, no, it's like, it feels more, there's a Fool, but I'm not really getting, like, the Fool is just a new beginning, a new beginning, exploring what is, it's coming through, and it's like, now is the time to experience what is new. Now's the time that we close this door, that we can just explore what happens here, take one step at a time. Yeah. 66 is also master number. I don't know if I said. So service is a source of joy in which one pours from an overflowing cup, not martyrdom. Okay, so lots of lessons learned. We'll see what your person is going to bring forward to you. Beautiful angel. I hope this helped you, and I will see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. You guys picked the Anime Tarot deck. And I'm going to put your box on the side here. So we're looking at you versus the person you came here about, person on your mind, although sometimes spirit hijacks and shows us energy around you. That's the stronger energy. So it could be another person, place, thing that pulls through here energetically. Apply the energy as you see fit. If it isn't you on either side of this reading, then this isn't your pile. It's for someone else, okay? So one side should be your energy, And the other side should be the energy that's currently going on between you and the person on your mind. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3, Spirit, and this connection. Can we look at what is currently going on between pile 3 and the person they came here about? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Please protect me this connection as I channel this message. Thank you so much, pile number 3. I'd like to take this time to thank your higher self, spirits, angels, guides, for this act of divination. Thank you so much. And of course, your person's higher self, your high self, at this time. The 3 swords revealing itself for person B. How are each of these people feeling, thinking? What's going on energetically in this connection that pile 3 needs to be aware of? Pile 3, person on their mind, feelings, thoughts, energy between these two at this time. And one more. All right. And let's skedaddle them over. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. What's going on energetically between pile 3 and the person they came here about? Three more for pile number 3. Can we look at the energy going on between pile 3 and the person they came here about? Is there more? No. All right. One of these. Two and 2. All right. And we'll pull one of these oracle cards that I've made. Shared energy between pile number 3 and the person on their minds. Is there another? Just one more. And there it is. Oh, okay. Let's move that. Only thing revealing itself is 3 swords in the reverse. Interesting. All right. First person here, we have the 8 of Wands in the reverse, the Wheel of Fortune, the 7 of Cups in the reverse, and the King of Pentacles in the reverse. The 6 of Pentacles in the reverse, in the same spot pile 1 had. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles, clarified by the King of Swords. So 2 kings here, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then we have the Hangman, Pisces energy. Okay. And then for person B, we have the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, clarified by the 7 Wands in the reverse, the 2 Pentacles in the reverse, the Magician in the reverse, Virgo, Gemini, and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. All right, bottom of the deck, Aeon, which is the Judgment energy. Under that, we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. That was for pile 2 in the same spot, and then the 2 cups under that. Okay. Let me leave that like that. And then for the shared energy here of this oracle card, I will be reading it intuitively. And we have this oracle card. And we have the card of injustice, 62 and 8. It says abuse of power, malevolence, harm, persecution, mistreatment, and feeling victimized. Type 8, the challenger instinctive center between strength and weakness. Pluto energy and Leo and Aquarius. So Scorpio. And Libra as well, okay? Hypercreativity. 83, 4 and 2. It says accepting one's emotions, existing by oneself, originality, resourceful, standing out, self-knowledge. Type 2, the helper emotional center between giving and receiving. Root chakra here. And we have selfless love. It says feeling the love of sharing, intimate love, loving deeply, embodied love, committed love. Type 5, the observer thinking center between interior and exterior. So here we have Pisces, Scorpio again, Aries, Sagittarius, and some Taurus energy. Authentic self-expression. And we have innocence, self-kindness, vulnerability, sincerity, sensitivity, authenticity, self-weakness, acceptance. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. Wow. Okay, so 88, master number. A higher calling grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. A lot of Pluto energy pulling through. More Leo and Aquarius. And then we have confession. Alignment, practice, ethical leadership, repentance, ecological action, purification, ritual, philosophical circle. Type 1, the perfectionist, instinctive center between control and letting go. And this is a spiritual practice. 37 and 1, Virgo, Gemini energy. Okay. Fascinating. Let me sit here with this energy before I begin to channel. You guys can definitely skip ahead. Can you see? Yes, you can. All right. Okay, pile number 3. You should resonate with one side being your energy in order for this pile to make sense, for it to be yours, okay? If it doesn't, if one side's not you, then it's not your pile. Unfortunately, I got to start with one person though, so you might have to listen to a bit of it to know whether it's going to be your pile or not your pile. Person A here, I feel could go either way, being you or your person, although for the majority, I do feel this is your person, okay? But it could be you. I feel like this is a period of no contact here between these two people, because I do feel like it almost feels like holding grudges or holding our ground on both sides. And we could both sort of be justified in our reasoning to do so and look at each other and say, my valid reason for holding my ground is more valid than this person. And they'll, from their perspective, say the same thing. And it could be that we're both in shadow, you know? It could be. And so this is what Spirit is sort of bringing through. So person A is talking here about energetically. There seems to be them sort of honing their energy of self that says, I stand firm in my own energy that is not going to budge, is not going to step forward, is not going to do anything other than protect in a way here my truth or my position or what has happened. And so I feel like this person is like open to the flow of universe of how things go. So they're not necessarily shut down. But I do feel like this person is being called to a higher understanding than that of the logical mind. Because the logical mind can definitely see its own experience, its own perceptions of what happened. So if there's an argument, if there's values that they have that the other person doesn't, and it's like I can't get around my own mind and my own understanding of it. So therefore, it's a loss. Therefore, I don't agree with you. Therefore, we don't communicate. I'm not going to invest. There's nothing to talk about. I stand true on my word. I stand behind my own strength. I'm confident in my own energy. And Spirit saying, okay, yes, but Spirit is wanting us to see and understand something greater than that in which we're sitting in for this person. So it doesn't mean that what we understand is wrong. It means it's partial truth, that there's more truth this person needs to see about the reality of the situation, specifically when it comes to this dynamic between you and them and you, whoever this person is. So they have an understanding right now that is a partial truth. And what we like to do generally is reinforce those truths to make us feel better, to make us feel confident, so that we can move on with ourselves and be confident with our decisions and flow with the universe and almost act like nothing's wrong with me and nothing happened to me and the problems with the other guy. Because I could see clearly and I understand clearly what happened. And there could be, this could go either way. There could be like I'm not in a position to invest or commit to this other person because there's too many things that aren't clear, or the confusion was created here by something that was expressed or misaligned or understood by the both of us. And therefore, it's like, instead of staying in confusion, instead of trying to keep investing or figuring out or like staying in for the long term or something like this, it's like, I will see what happens in my world, but I am guarding my position and my truth with logic, because I don't feel like this person is outrightly being defensive or aggressive. But if you were to come towards this person, they're still saying they're right. They're still standing behind what they said. They still believe in their truth. They're still coming from the same angle. They're still not willing to shift however maybe you were wanting them to shift, or what this connection was making them have to do. Maybe this connection was asking them to break their value or do something outside of what they thought was right, or compromise some sort of truth of theirs, or like go against something, or understand something they can't see or connect with. I don't know which it is. And for all of you guys, it is different, but it's major enough for this person to be halted here. And this halting, or this period of pause or separation or break, is Spirit saying, like, I'm giving you a break so that you can see and understand a greater understanding of self, what's happened from a higher perspective than the mind. There's a higher understanding. Your mind only sees one experience or understanding at this time. And every way that you're acting is based on that understanding, and it's justified and valid. However, if we were to know of all sort of truths and see everything sort of in the way that was beyond just our perspective, we may see things differently, or we may come to different understandings, or we may be in a position to do other things or move differently or explore other options or consider what investment might look like, or have different discussions about opportunities with this person or around our life or with other people to date. Like, I feel like it seems almost open-ended here, because I do feel it's a lesson of sorts. So this is a destined faded experience that the universe has sort of dished out in order for us to gain clearer, better understanding. And it could mean just about who we want to date, who we want to build a future with, who's committable, who gives to us, who's pulling our leg, who's trustworthy, who has the same values, who do we want to spend time with, who do we think is a value, who can match your energy. But I feel like our understanding of this at this time, or whoever this is a lower state of understanding, because it does seem to be more stuck in this 3D understanding. And sometimes, yes, we have to heal ourselves to be in a solid 3D understanding of self. But if it's used sort of as the logic that it's me, myself, and what I create here, and I'm only focused on the superficial 3D expansion of self, the way that I picture it in my mind, and nothing outside of that is being reviewed or considered or looked at, then I'm sort of fixated on this understanding. And Spirit is saying, are we fixated on an understanding here? Is this connection bringing in a higher awareness of self so that we can look at truths rather than run with one truth that we think is the be-all end-all, or that it's our truth, but really there's more here? I think this person is trying to convince themselves that they are I think they believe it. I don't think they're convincing themselves. This person believes that they are, I almost want to say all that or complete package, and that they are already sort of there, wherever the there is, and it's like, okay, universe, I'm ready. And the universe is like, excuse me, there's more here. There's more to just you. There's more to just 3D. There's more to what we just understand in our mind. There's more than what you perceive. There's more, there's more, there's more. And when you're really fixated on your understanding of who you are and what you're about and what it is that's, I don't know, right or wrong, or me or not, or this sort of understanding, it becomes very black and white. And when we're very black and white and fixed on those perceptions, then we create realities that are not necessarily fulfilling. And then we can just make all sorts of reasons why it's sort of happening the way that it is, but it's not. It's out of my hands. It's out of my control. And in a way, it's like, yes, some things are out of this person's control for sure. But what's in their control is their ability to be open to different understandings and perceptions of experiences that may be different than how they're holding it and understanding it. I feel like this person almost feels like a hard ass here, Sorry, I'm using really harsh words here, but I feel like there's definitely a block to emotion. There is not connecting to the heart space. There's a need to see beyond oneself. There is, we don't understand how to love other if we can't connect to loving ourself, because we're so stuck in sort of mind and 3D and material. And so this person could definitely be going through an experience in order for them to understand, not through intellectualization or from the mind, but understand from a greater mind outside of the thinking mind, okay, higher state of consciousness, awareness that shifts their perspective so that they can engage in relationship from the heart, from emotion, knowing what the feeling of love feels like, seeing beyond oneself, moving beyond the 3D and what it is to be, I don't know, a hard ass here, or confident in oneself. Because sometimes when we have one sense of confidence, we can use it as a crutch. Let's say we're successful, good looking, have our own place, people like us, blah, blah, blah. It's like, then we're like, I'm set, I'm set. It's like, what? You're totally one little speck. And what happened with spirituality? What happened with selfless, unconditional love and expressing love and sharing love and diving into deep intimacy and letting the innocence out? And this is sort of a thing, and then saying, no, it's not for me to experience. It's like, no, that's the ego. That's the hard ass. What do you mean not for you to experience? Are you not human to believe we don't have emotions and we can't connect to love, and to say I'm the only person that doesn't need to experience love, selfless love, or give love or feel emotion? That's the lie. That's the thing that needs shifting. That's the thing that's actually a defense coat. That's actually arrogance. That's actually an untruth, and that's actually the mind creating this thing. And this is actually more of a wound than it is helping. This is more of a hindrance than it is allowing this person to move. And so this is being shown to this person because I feel like all this person's options are removed right now. Commitments removed, futures removed, partners removed. And they're like, okay, be happy in that understanding. Sit there in that understanding all day long, and then be pointing that the universe is unjust, that people aren't coming correctly, that this person did this, or that happened this way or that way. It's still sitting in the mind, and it doesn't matter what that mind story, even if you're not resonating with what it is that I'm saying this person's telling themselves. The fact is they're staying in their mind, telling them whatever narrative story that they're telling themselves. And it's a bunch of different stories for all of you guys, because I can't possibly read all the different stories. It could just be like, I did everything right, I'm good on my own. I don't need that person. That's enough. That's enough for it to still need a hangman here, because their lesson is still in selfless love and innocence and seeing beyond themselves and getting outside of their mind. So I do feel like this person is just withholding communication, because it's like, well, I'm not going to chase. This person hasn't said anything. I'm just going to stand my ground and know what I know and keep supporting my badass self and do myself. Even if they're not saying badass self, it's like the understanding of this self that's here is like a limited self. So they'll find themselves not experiencing love. They'll find themselves not embodied in love. They'll find themselves not being able to experience committed love. And I don't feel like this person, like, if it's their own understanding even of like commitment, because like I said, the story is different for all of you guys. This could be someone who's like, I don't need to commit. I don't need to clarify the future. I don't need to do this. I just need to sort of show up. That's true. I just need to be and show up. It's like, yes, Spirit says yes, just being in the present is all that is. But when we utilize that from the wound as a way to not actually be innocent and expose our emotions to say, I'm ready and available to try what may happen here, but I just want to sort of, I don't know, flounder here. And then dress it up however I do dress it up so that it makes sense to me. That's the Spirit can see through that mistruth or that partial truth. Partial truth. It's not fully true, because there's more to this story. There's a wound here. There's an avoidance here. There's not wanting to get hurt here. There's not wanting to confront or see some truth here. And then we're sort of giving it off to someone else, like, oh, well, then this person better say something or come correctly, or then the universe can turn things, or things would turn if it's meant to be. Or it's like, yes, those things are true, but there's also a truth about self. And Spirit keeps saying, kick it back to self, kick it back to self. Why do we kick it back to self? Because that's the only thing we have any agency over is self. How I perceive, what I do, what I say, how I think, and how I engage is all predicated on the beliefs I hold and the stories I tell and the thoughts that I have. And then I reinforce those beliefs. And right now this person's holding some understanding about themselves and their capability and their own, I don't know, like how they see themselves, they're seeing themselves from a healthy lens according to them, but it's at the expense of truth and higher states of experience here that are actually deeper, more meaningful, more soulful, more truthful. It's like, I'll just sort of be on the surface here with my understanding and call it a day, because outside of this would require vulnerability. Outside of this would require me doing something here that I'm not comfortable with. But instead of saying I'm not comfortable, because this energy would not say I'm not comfortable, let's say I know everything. This is for a reason. This is why it's happening. Then I justify it. And then I support that belief. And then I make it like it's true. And so if other people are creating obstacles, they're the bad guy, or they're the resistance, or they're the challenge, or they're the ones that need changing, or they're the ones who don't understand it, or they're the ones who are confused, or they're the ones who, it's like, no, are we sure? Because it's like, look at self, look at self, look at self. Okay, so person B. I feel like person B here might have been through the ringer here. But I feel like this is their perspective. And it's valid because, of course, if we experience challenge, it's like become our experience. We lived through challenge. But this challenge is a little bit self-induced here, okay? And obviously nobody would choose to be choose to go through a challenge. Challenge for me, please. I want suffering. Can I have some more and more and more? No. So why would it be self-induced? Because if we hold shadow wounds, if we hold some understanding, and see how it's mirrored here with this person, because there is some understanding here. And this understanding is driven from something that's unhealed within this person. This person is in a victim energy. And the victim believes its own story. And the victim will do what it believes is within its power to get out of any victim energy, because nobody wants to sit in victim energy or low energy or suffer or be challenged. Nobody. So if I could do anything, I would do it. But it's like, what can they do here? And so what they can do is take a look at the truth. But I don't feel this person has seen the truth or sat with the truth or healed the truth. In fact, I feel this person is still sitting, wallowing in victim energy, sort of like fleshing out or sitting with what has happened, processing, but not fully sort of seeing oneself from a deeper understanding than that in which they've held to be how they see themselves and hold that energy. But it's like, if I can't utilize what I think is me in this connection, or be who I think that I am, already established, already this, already that, all the identity that I am, this energy that I am, that they also believe is signed, sealed, and delivered. This is who I am, It's just how it be. It's just how I am. And that isn't welcomed here. That isn't wanted here. That isn't going to get anywhere here. That isn't getting far here. I'm not getting what I want here. I'd have to be someone different. I'd have to change this. I'd have to go along with someone else's energy who wants me to do this or wants me to be that, or would impede on who I am or what it is that I'm worth and what I want and all of this stuff. But it's not coming from a healthy spot, because we haven't disassembled that identity self first to know what it is that is truly from the heart space. This is a defense mechanism so that we also don't have to go into innocence and be vulnerable and expose ourselves. Because it's like, I'll just keep the understanding of who I've created myself to be. And this is creating the pain and the suffering here, because how we perceive it is that someone is telling me I need to change or be something else, or I'd have to bend to their will, or I'd have to step outside of myself. It's like, no, you don't have to step outside of yourself. You have to look at yourself and see what's not true about yourself, what you're attached to about yourself. Because I feel like this person's like, well, I don't want to argue. I don't want to have to fight. I don't want to have to prove. I don't want to have to do anything. But it's like, but they're still manipulating energy here. But they're not happy because I think this person wanted to create something they wanted. So again, ego in the way. It's like what I want, what I attach to. I want the outcome that I envision. And then I believe that identity so much that I say, well, it's true. It's true who I am. It's true what I deserve. It's true that what I want to build. It's true that this connection wasn't doing this and it wasn't doing that. It's like, yes and no. It wasn't doing that because it's making you see beyond your lies. And it wasn't doing that so this person could see beyond their lies. And until we see beyond the lies and step into humility and step into innocence and step into the heart space, then we hang on to the egoic mask and we both think that we're right. And we both don't create diddly shit. And we're both trying to hold on to control and manipulation because what we want is to create something here. And this is the wound talking. And Spirit is saying, wakey, 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 time to look at self, not look at others. Why? Because the connection that hasn't come together, that is sitting here as a block or as a not moving forward, not a manifestation, and it's stubborn energy here, really fixed. It's like this is the calling that both you guys are having to look at oneself, because love has to come from a selfless place to truly understand what it is that this connection is making both people see with this 2 cups. It's the only way to come together. And so both people have to be raised to another level of consciousness of love, which means they have to see beyond their own self. And that means an awakening. That means a realization. That means experiencing challenge until we see the truth, until we have realizations. It's like, oh, you mean this need for control or this idea I had of myself or this non-manifestation isn't the truth? Okay, let me look at what Spirit is trying to tell me. Oh, you mean nobody wants to be around someone like this that says my way or the highway, or it has to be like this or it has to be like that, and those are my conditions? And it's like, well, then we find ourselves sort of sitting there. And Spirit is saying either we could find ourselves sitting there, not manifesting, being right, or we could connect to a higher state of consciousness. And so this Queen of Wands energy feels like somebody here who I feel is like, I want that person to come. And this person's like, I'm not coming. If this person wants to come, they come, Okay. Well, then neither of you guys come and go live in your own lives. And it's like, we have to see beyond this so egoic power dynamics, But I don't think this type of an energy is able to see beyond oneself, because it's really ingrained in who this person thinks that what it means if they have to step down from their pedestal or from their understanding, or if they have to compromise something that they think they're compromising. Meanwhile, it's like, it's not a compromise. It's not a compromise. This is the ego having to see beyond itself, and it doesn't like it. So it tries to manipulate through the power dynamic in a way that it knows how. And it's like, I don't want to be under any sort of thing that I can't control. I don't want to be exposed to anything here that I don't know. I don't want to explore anything here that doesn't give me what the thing that I think that I need or want. But it's like, yeah, but that's the wound talking. And of course, we don't want to engage with what we don't want. But it's like the wound is putting the boundary. The wound is running with the narrative. The wound is the one that's acting like it's doing the right thing right now. And it's not doing the right thing right now. All it's doing is upkeeping an egoic belief of self here. And it's telling itself why it's not engaged with this, and why it can't do this, and why it needs what it needs, and why it wants what it wants, and it only wants what it wants, and it wants nothing else, and it won't do this, and it won't do that. And this person, same thing. I won't do this, and I won't do that. And this is what it is, and this is what it's not. And it's like so fixed in our understanding of self and what this meant that it's so black and white. And so I feel like Spirit is ringing this, I was going to say the alarm, okay, or blowing the trumpet, because what I feel is there seems to be a death process happening here. And so it's the death of perceptions over time that must sort of be processed. There's death of how we see connection. There's death of how we see yourself. There's death of the way this connection was engaged. I feel there's so many things dying off here. In fact, for some of you guys, this could be the death of this connection, you know? Because a lot of people just die on this vine. And so unless there's a profound reason, which I feel if you're here, most likely there is, because this might be a spiritual, faded experience. That's like saying, until you see all the things that were supposed to sort of die off or be put to bed before you guys can actually engage, then unfortunately it's going to take as long as it takes, and the ball is in your hands. And the ball's in your hands to do shadow work, see beyond the mask, see where the wound is, see where my ego wants to manipulate or try to control energy or try to control by withholding or try to remove itself so that it can have more control or so that it can upkeep a story. And so this would be something we need to see through, something we need to process. So I feel like there's a lot of transmutation here. There's a lot of a need to come from a higher state of consciousness and understanding, not from the shadow, because I feel like the understanding is now with both these people coming from shadow consciousness, wound perception, protect myself at all costs. This is what I'm seeing as the other person is needing to be and do. And if they can't be and do, then it's the truth that I've lived, and that then creates the reality. And therefore I react and defend or run away or protect or don't do and do what it is based on that. But it's like very surface and very superficial. Both people feel like the other person was unjust or not right, or the other person's the one that harmed them or that is wrong, that needs to change, that needs to be the one that fixes it or apologize or come correctly or see the light, and what they did was not right. And it's like, yeah, both people do. So if you're seeing it in the other, you're right. And if you're not seeing it in yourself, you're not right about yourself. And so there's a need to accept one's own position in a way that works through what is unreal or what is shadow content or what is driving the manipulation or driving the victimization or driving the thoughts of perceived injustice, that some other person is creating a threat to me. And so both these people can experience a connection of love, but I feel like this is underneath a massive awakening of truth that must be resolved. And there are many, many different things here that I'm seeing, like it almost feels overwhelming to me because it's very deep in shadow, very deep. But we aren't shadow, we are light. And that's the thing. And Spirit is saying, regardless how heavy the shadow, the wound, or the beliefs are, the authentic self is the pure, selfless love that sits in all of us. That is the authentic truth. And it doesn't matter the wound, the shadow, or the stories or the perceptions, but it's the stronghold we have on them. And it is when we are aware that we're projecting them and that we're casting from those wounds or casting from that place, projecting from that. And so as long as the one person, which I feel is going to be you because you're here, is identifying that they're projecting from wound, coming from the same place that isn't helping progress, that isn't coming from a selfless love, that isn't feeling loving, but it's feeling more guarded, defensive, or victimized, or manipulated, or trying to do something other than just be selfless and embodied and carrying love. If it's anything other than that, then we know we have work to do. Then we know the message here is to work on that. Work on embodying love, work on carrying this beautiful light energy, work on connecting to the feeling, work on integrating any of the shadow, work on what it is that I'm trying to do by the beliefs that I have. And no matter how confident we think we are, or how beautiful or intelligent or powerful or independent or No one talks to me like that, because that is the ego self that creates this shell of a thing that doesn't allow love in, because love is humble, love is kind, love is accepting, love is forgiving, love doesn't ask for anything in return, love doesn't say anything other than it emanates love, period, end of story. And this is the lesson we're experiencing here. Otherwise, we just love from shadow. And the projection creates the victimization and the wound. And then sometimes we don't experience love at all because we're too shadowed, wounded, projecting, and no one wants to go near that. No one wants to go near a victim. No one wants to go near defensiveness. No one wants to go near arrogance, and no one wants to go near egos when they're on the other side experiencing it, So I feel like there's a deep truth both people are having to admit to themselves about themselves, that they can't admit it if they don't see it. And they can only see it when they sit in suffering long enough, when the truth is revealed, because I find myself not manifesting or upset, or it's like here I am sitting with being right or feeling empowered or in charge or independent, but it's like, okay, well, look around. Do we feel deeply loved? Do we feel understood? Do we feel connected to, or do we just feel empowered in our own strength, And it's like, at the cost of what? So I feel like there's a need for both these people to be humble enough to own up to their part of what they've sort of created in this connection. And so when we say sorry, it doesn't mean I'm sorry the whole problem was my fault, or I'm sorry because I'm the reason that this is falling apart. But it's like, I'm honestly sorry for that in which I can now see was beneath me, or was not really me in my highest, was me and my pure self, was creating the conflict, was me having distorted beliefs about who you are or who I am, or withholding, or having a victim story about what I thought you did to me, and what I said to you, and why I blocked you, and and it might be like very scary to open that door. Like, if we haven't been able to really like sit with humility and open a door and say like, whoa, all these things, like I can see, I don't want to block you. I don't want you to block me, or I don't want to experience this or that. It's like, it takes humility to express what we don't want, even if it means I'm being vulnerable right now, or I'm showing something here. Oh, that's desperation. That's this or that's that. Then it's like, okay, that's a judgment, and that's coming from the shadow wound. And this experience is saying, must sit with shadow wound, must see the wound for what it is, must express it, must acknowledge it, not judge it, not do it because it feels awkward. It feels like I'm desperate. It feels below me. It feels like I'm chasing. It feels like I'm the one going forward. It feels like, it feels like, because we're still hiding behind the egoic self that feels this energy attached to an untruth or a partial truth. So both people have a partial understanding of what's happening here. And of course, they're coming from their own perspectives. So the other side looks shadow. The other side looks like the problem. The other side looks wounded. The other side is creating the tension. And if only the other side could see me, if only the other side could do this, if only the other side could appreciate this or that, or see in this perspective, then it wouldn't be a problem. This person thinks this, and this person thinks this too. So I think both people need to humble themselves, come forward, and own up to their thing. Even if it's like, well, I don't know if the other person's ready, or I don't know if the other person's going to. It's like, no, but it's not about the other person. It's about just saying, hey, even saying like, I don't know what I don't know, but here is what I do know. When I did this, it was because you hurt me. When I did that, it's because I was trying to get this. But really, I feel like underneath why we do what we do is because we want love. That's why we do what we do. It's coming from a good, genuine place, But it's like when I'm threatened, when I feel hurt, it's like I'm defensive, or I say things, or I like block, or I do something, I'm like, I can act any sort of way because the ego will throw kitchen sink if it has to. It will do whatever. But underneath is like a desire to be loved, a desire to be understood, a desire to connect, a desire to feel from the emotional thing. But it's like, you first. You know, it's like you first and then I will. It's like, well, then we're not really doing it from this vulnerable, innocent place. We're doing it with a caveat that other person must say sorry first, or must be vulnerable first, or must express first, or must do something first. It's like, who are we first is what Spirit is saying. This is supposed to really peel back what we're not here. And I feel like there is this karmic bringings together. So whether this connection is just karmic experience that isn't amounting to cup, then what it does amount to is saying, how do we create a 2 cup when we're still unhealed from that in which is connected to a true selfless love here? And until we can do this, then our love will always be experienced from shadow, from transaction, from projection, from fear, from victimization, from not from vulnerability, but from a fear of vulnerability, or from manipulative energy that needs to control or needs to do something, you know? So I feel both these people are called to a higher understanding of themselves, connect to what's truer and deeper, and see beyond their own ways of being, which I'm calling the ego. Because anything that creates a resistance to that which is going to protect me from getting hurt, or an attachment to that in which I am utilizing in order for me to get out of discomfort, that is coming from the ego self. And this ego self is from the shadow wound. And the shadow wound is a past experience of a memory that it holds that it didn't like. And nobody likes sitting in discomfort. And so whatever discomfort is for these people, it's like, I'd rather sit in this other energy, because here at least I'm sort of delaying the discomfort. But it's like, the discomfort being delayed doesn't mean it's healed. The discomfort being delayed doesn't mean it's not there. The discomfort is the only way to get to the truth. And so this is almost like, I'd rather sit in the lie. I'd rather sit in the distortion. I'd rather sit in what's not real. And Spirit is saying, well, just because you'd rather doesn't mean the truth isn't the truth. And it doesn't mean that the truth isn't existing, and that you can experience the truth here regardless if you're uncomfortable with the truth. It's not going to change the truth. The truth's not going to bend to your comfort. The truth is here, willing to be experienced by both of you guys. One of you guys could be really into fitness. So if you're trying to figure out whether this is your pile, seems something to be with fitness here, like either like a fitness instructor, or like a, I don't know, something to do with fitness is coming through here. Okay. So it could be, you know, like fitness would be like the physical vessel and like the appearance. And like, to me, that's still giving, like, yes, we have to take care of our vessel for sure. The health is important and our physicalness of this body. But it's like, I don't know, maybe we think we're too cool for school, you know? It's like, look at me. It's like, I'm too smart. And it's like, I'm too beautiful, or I'm too independent in my world of creating, that I don't want to have to lower my standard, because we're all in 2 tiers or in different tiers. Meanwhile, it's like, no, there are no tiers. There's just shadow beliefs and projections and judgments and victimizing circumstances that we're seeing that are actually not necessarily the truth. So I feel like for this pile, it's challenging. Let's just see what it is that you need to know. I didn't do this for the others, okay? But let's see, Spirit. Let's close out this reading. Pile number 3. Those pile 3 need to know about what's going on in this connection. What's this pile 3 need to know? I'll leave it open. Prince of Cups in the reverse. That's the Page of Cups. So we need to feel the emotions here. There's a block, the Page of Cups in the reverse. This could be a block to expressing how we feel, coming forward with our heart, being open to giving it. It's like, no, I'm withholding it. No, it's here under lock and key. I won't feel the discomfort. Okay, Ten of Swords in the reverse. So it's like we're sitting here processing some form of an ending. And like I said, I felt the death. And I don't know, it could be the death of this connection if we just sit on this too long, egoically being right. Or do we want to sort of deal with some aspect of how this happened? Thank you, Spirit. So that we can deal with this thing. I feel like maybe we wanted closure, or closure never came from this person. It's like, get your own closure then. Like, deal with the closure. Closure means opening the heart, being honest from the heart, expressing oneself truthfully. Like, it could truthfully say, you hurt me. I don't really feel I want a relationship with you because of these reasons, but the love was true and I was hurt in this way and that way. You know, but maybe I was like in my ego, or maybe I thought it meant this, or maybe I was defensive because of that, or I blocked you because of this, or I said this because I felt that in the moment. And it's like, okay, now I got the closure and I can move on. Good. Now move on. But it's like, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to not to do the thing, and that is them to do the thing. No, it's not. Page of Swords, communicate your truth, understand it first. Empress, love, giving and receiving from an unconditional heart space, knowing self-worth and boundaries, but not from a place of the ego. This is truly being understanding the mother wound that gets in the way of giving unconditional love. Okay? Divine Empress energy, Five of Cups in the reverse. And then the Six of Cups in the reverse, you guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, Spirit flakes to keep me here. So, soul memory. This is, we can't move on. Person, place, thing. Stuck here, replaying like a record. No closure. Feeling really pulled, you know, soulmates, soul recognition to a deeper truth. Sometimes it's the person who came here to wake me up from something that needs healing, that needs seeing. I need to connect to the innocence here. Oops. The innocence here is the only way. Otherwise, stuck. I need to connect to true love. Otherwise, stuck. These two people, I feel, are too stiff to express love. And then they sort of are hunted here. But both you guys are thinking of each other. Both you guys are like missing each other. Both of you guys, you know, underneath it all. But we may not even be honest with the truth ourselves. No, I'm not missing this person. It's like, okay, well, then they just wouldn't even be a thought. You wouldn't even be here. This wouldn't even be a thing. You know, and we fight that. That's the ego, like I said, resists what it doesn't want. I don't want to miss them. I don't want them. I don't want their chaos. I don't want their this. I don't want their, it's like, are we sure? Because underneath it all, it seems to be saying something else here. Your energy is actually saying, we want, but we want with caveats. We want, but we want it the way we want it. We want, but it's like underneath of this egoic protection system, you know? It's like we're in this protective system that must be done first before I can express love, before I can acknowledge my feelings, before I can say, yes, the truth is, here's how I feel, because many truths can be happening. I feel like I am attracted. I feel like there's some love here, but I also feel angry. I also feel hurt. I also feel invalidated. I also feel not seen. I also feel betrayed. I also feel like I want you to be different. And it's okay to say you want them to be different, but the truth is this person ain't going to be different, and neither is this person, other than them releasing that in which is not them. And when we release what is not us, it has nothing to do with how someone manipulates or controls situation. How this gets diffused is by the energy that we can hold. And so if we change our energy, the energy of the dynamic shifts. And so we're being asked to change the energy to a more truthful, honest thing with self. What is our truth? What is it that we want to sit in, even if it's uncomfortable? If we were safe to say and feel what we feel, even if it contradicts, keep going there. Keep facing that thing until we get to the ending or the closure here. I feel like we don't want to feel let down. We don't want to feel abandoned. We don't want to feel like we trusted and then we were a fool about it, or we don't want to be vulnerable, or we don't want to be disappointed. And it's like, but we already experienced disappointment. And the Empress is saying, like, she could rise above this energy. She could show up in her full capacity and speak what's true, what's her experience has been, what she's willing to do at this point, what's beyond her, what's still things she doesn't know. It's like, I don't know this, I don't know that, I don't know what I don't know, but what I do know is what I do know. And here's what I'm willing to share from the truthful place of vulnerability, not because I'm trying to protect myself or create boundaries or make you want me or manipulate the energy or try to control you or get you to be this or get you to be that. It's like, no, I'm just doing this because this is my truth, because there's a replay here that won't leave me alone, that there's a haunting here that won't give me closure, that there's something here that keeps pulling me to seeing a greater truth, this great truth about myself. And until I see the great truth about myself or understand this and communicate it, then Spirit's going to say, ooh, I'm going to keep you in this energy. And even if this relationship ends or this partnership doesn't come together, Spirit is saying you can't escape the lessons of the universe. Lessons of the universe will come through this person or another, because the truth has to be experienced and revealed in order for us to grow spiritually and see shadow and heal wounds. This is a given for everyone here on earth. Nobody can bypass this. There's only one way through. One way, and that's it. One way. So we can't outsmart it. We can't be too good for it. And we can't ego our way out of it. And so maybe this time, but I don't think so. I think it's like, heal the thing. Heal the thing that came from a past life. Heal the thing that's happened in childhood. Heal the thing that's kept me blocking my vulnerability or expressing my emotions. Heal the thing that is too uncomfortable for me to sit with, so that I can finally have closure with this part of my world and the way I engage. Not necessarily with this person, but it will give closure with this person as well, you know? And for a lot of you guys, it will open the door to having an experience of beautiful, selfless love here, deep love, innocent love, truthful love, feeling deeply, embodied in love, expressing oneself, being able to share with another, not withholding, not saying tit for tats, not trying to manipulate or control energy, but actually manifesting beautiful energy, you know? Not sort of waiting around for it. But it requires truth. It requires honesty with self. It requires humility. It requires a purification of the ego. And the purification doesn't mean you're required to be perfect. It means you're required to see where there's untruths, where there's shadows, and refine those, bring light to them, bring healing to them, bring truth to them, bring light to them. And if you are feeling any which way about what you have done or said, speak those with repentance here. It's like, speak that in which you don't want to do or experience no more. I feel bad for this, or I didn't mean that, or in that moment I did, but my truth is this. And we could feel all sorts of ways, but it's like, be honest, you know? And so this is kind of advice for you, if this is you and this person, because I feel this is sort of both of you guys. Both of you guys are sort of mirroring the same energy. So is this, I feel person A here is only going to have a shift when I feel person B does what I'm saying here, you know? This is how I'm feeling this channel coming through. But I feel like person B might have to go through their victim story, might have to go through seeing the truth, might have to go through seeing their own ego, might have to go through seeing their own manipulation, because they might not understand how they're manipulating. They might not understand what they're doing here. They might not understand their shadow. They might not understand what they're doing from an actual deep place, and all to avoid something that feels uncomfortable when it's being exposed to innocence and love. And you know, and it's like, this person here is like, I wouldn't blame this person, because this person does seem like they're totally off, you know, but they're only off because, remember, their lesson was to be shown something similar here. And so if person B can hold this conscious mirror, if person B can be like, hey, I showed you because I was also whatever in an energy that created the resistance or the suffering, it's like, I healed it. I came through the other side. And it's like, whoa, then I guess I can see, because this doesn't feel good. And nobody wants to sit here like this, although this person will sit here stubbornly so. Okay. But if this is you and this is the other person here, then this person may see what they were doing, you know? They may come to you, they may tell you they're sorry, they may, because I feel like this person A is just not necessarily going to see it, what they're being called to see, and maybe they're like here waiting to see it, you know? It's like, I'm waiting to see this because I'm energetically called to contract that you, person B, was supposed to do something once they saw the light, was being called to action in order to do something. And then it's like rings like a bell, and now we can move and now we can engage, but it's like on pause, on hold, suspended, not moving forward here, sort of floating around forever until something here is done, you know? See the ego, see the shadow, but it's like, yeah, there's still ego shadow here too. Okay, I hope this made sense to you guys. I love you guys very much. I'll see you guys at the next one. All right, bye-bye.